So let's go to our first app that we have made in our first video. So this is the workspace that I talked about in the first video. We haven't explained it really well. For now, you just need to understand this is the workspace we are going to build our UI and apply our workflows as well. And this is the web page basically. So today our main topic is about the containers groups. So basically we have a lot of things in the workspace like visual elements, text button icons, input forms, checkbox, reusable elements. It's a big thing, but for now we will discuss about groups. So whenever you want use a group, so basically first let's start with why. What are groups in bubble.io? Think of groups are as a container like folders on your computer. They help organize and manage your elements, making your design process more like efficient. And group can hold other elements like text, images, inputs, button, and their layout type determines like how these elements are positioned and behave. So basically a UI design. So let's start with our group. So whenever you want to use the group, you can just drag it here in the page, and you can see I can move this group. So there are like four types of layouts of groups. Where you can see here, you can see the layout section where you can see the container layout. We have four type of container layout. First is column, then row, then align to parent, then fixed. We also do have a page layout as well, which also includes these four things. So let's start with our fixed layout at first. So basically fixed layout means exactly that. Fixed that group has like a set of width and height and it doesn't just based on screen size or content changes. It's like placing a picture like frame on your wall. It stays the same size regardless of the wall's dimensions. So you can even expand it, you can drag it anywhere, but I would personally not recommend to use that whenever you want a responsive website. For a responsive website you have to consider a lot of things that we will talk about, like we have to consider the width, the height, the and maximum width, minimum width. And so these all things are really important, guys, if you want a responsive website. Although, so now let's start with our, so this was basically fixed layout. So we will just for clarification we can just color it. Let's say we will apply black, so this will be for more clarification. um so let's do it fixed. So this will be fixed. Fixed color white. Okay, so this will be a fixed container. See, this is a group and I made it as a fixed layout so I can move the inside elements anywhere I want, and expandable as much as I want. So this is how the fixed layout works. So let's start with our align to parent. Align to parent is like smart as a smart magnet. Like it allows child elements to align within the group, within the parent group, using a grid of 9 zones. The grid of 9 zone, what does I mean about that? So basically let me show you. So as you can see, this is a group, and let's say we color it first. Let's color it to ah, that's fine. So we have this group as a line to parent. We will just say a line to parent, and this is our parent group. Yeah. So when I did it as a align to parent, this is the parent group. Okay, using a grid is of 9 zones. Like think of a tic-tac-toe board. As the parent group size resizes, child elements remain anchored to their designated zone. So let's say when I did it as a align to parent, whenever we place a group, it will have 9 zones. Like we can place it here on the top left corner. We can keep it as a top center, top right, top center of the left, middle, right. So yeah, this, like, as you can see, for your more clarification, let's color that as well. Yeah. So in align to parent, we as the child group, even though it is column, but but its parent is aligned to parent. So um, it will act accordingly to the layout, parent container type. That's how align to parent works, and it is very useful when making uh, a really classic UI, and a lot of things it can be used in. We will dig into that as well further. For now, just the basic concept you should get is about how the architectures are working. So let's start with the next our layout. It will be our role layout. Row basically layout arranges child elements horizontally in a single line. It's like placing items on a shelf. So it is really suitable for navigation bars or horizontal lists. Whenever you want to place lists in a horizontal way, it is the best way to um, for our row layout. So let's say example of a group. It's a group. We just say uh, we just keep it as a row. So let's say we will make the color of it as yeah, that's fine. So as this is a row, the parent is a row layout. Whenever we place a group here, and we will color it as, or let's keep it white. So when we paste another group, as you can see, it is behaving in a row, it is behaving in our horizontal list. So this is how our row works. We can even stretch them from the layout, vertical alignment. We can keep it in the middle, we can keep it in the last, we can keep it extended the way we want. So this is how our row layout works. And if we want a distance between them, all the groups does give us allow gap space between elements. It just, what it does, it apply spaces, gap spaces between the groups. Let's say we say 20 pixels, and let's say we say 20 pixel in it. So as you can see, there's a gap between here. For better example, let's say I will color this one as yeah, blue. See, as you can see, this main the parent group color is this, the alert 30. That alert 30 is the gap. As you can see, when we give them, it give us the gap. So whenever, just for your better understanding, you see I'm lessing the column gap, and it is decreasing the gap. So this is how things work in the layout of rows. And now let's start with the our last but not least, column layouts. So column layout stacks child elements vertically as rows does horizontally, so the column does vertically. It's like places items in a stack. So uh, align child elements to the top and center, bottom, and distribute them with the space between around. So let's do that. Yeah, let's make it here, and make the color of it so we can describe better. Let's say we got a green for that, and the layout is column. That's fine, this is what we want. So whenever we post a group here, let's give it a color, guys. Yeah, white is fine. Now that would be confusing. Let's do that purple. So when we paste another group, it will be positioned beneath the first group, as you can see. So whenever we place a flat color on that, say red, so this is the green one is the parent of these two childs, group I and group H. So, and if we want a space between them, as you can see these are really attached, we can just place a space between gap on the parent side, that we want a space between group H and group I children's. So we just say like 20, it will make a space for us. So this is how, guys, uh, group layout works. And let's just walk through the responsive settings for group. Basically, we will go through deep into that in the next videos. For now, the basic concept is to to ensure what your apps looks great on all devices, and it's essential to configure responsive settings for your groups. And um, and for that and for that what is the main thing you need to consider is in the layout tab. You can see that we can set the minimum width, minimum height, maximum height, fit height to content, fit width to content. What does all these three means? So what, let me show you from like what minimum width means. Let's say we select this group A. um, as you can see, this is fixed. We can fix it anything we want. We don't have to apply things, as it doesn't work in the responsive setting. We will keep it that way. This was aligned to parent, so we can even do that when it is aligned to parent. Let's say I'd say the minimum width as 600 pixels. All right, that will be minimum width. Besides that, we will not be able to decrease the size. So now in the inspect element, this group 600 width will not be lesser than that, because we have put the condition that minimum width will be 600 of this group. So let's start with that. As you can see, let's say just fix that as well. Right, so I had to start because that fixed width was more than 600. That is why I told you guys to not use fixed layouts whenever you want a responsive website. So yeah, we just covered that as well. So as you can see, these groups are minimizing, but what happened here when we go through less than 600? As you can see, after 600, all the groups except this brown one are not changing. Why it is not changing? Why it is being fixed? Because the minimum width is 600. So this is how you can constrain a group, that you cannot go lesser than that. And similarly, for the maximum, we can say 800. Yeah, 600 will be fine. So when I did it as a maximum width as 600, it will not go beyond the 600 width. As you can see in our screen, you can see this is a 600 width. It is not expanding than that. Why it is that? Because we had made it fixed. So if you guys want inspect as well, we can see, as you can guys see, that is 600. It won't be more than that. So this is how you can put constraints, that minimum width could be that, maximum width could be that. So let's talk um about fixed width. Make this element fixed width. What will it do? It will just make it fixed width the way we want, like 477. It will be a fixed width as well, and maximum width can be like, it can expand to max to this width. For let's talk about fit width content. What does a fit width content means? So basically, this is a text. So let's say we made this as a group as fit width to content, and remove that, maximum remove that. So when we did it as a fit with content, the content inside the group will be wrapped to its content. How much content it is depend on the content. The group size will dependent on the content of the group. So this is how a fit video content works. Similarly with the height, you can set a minimum height. The group can go to the minimum height to that pixels, and also for that we also have a feature that minimum height. We can select a minimum height of things in percentage as well. Also for the width we can even do it percentage. So let's start for the minimum height, let's say 70% for our this group. So this is how minimum height works. So let's say maximum height will be like 20. So what happened here? Why it is not changing? Because we have had a minimum height to 70%. So the first we have applied will be applied always. So let's say we can 0, but as we have a maximum height fixed, it will be fixed to 20 percentage, and it can be increased like 60 percentage, it will increase to 60. So um about the fit height content, it will, when we check that and remove that as well, and when we check that, it will be fit height to content, and a group will be considered as a content. So anything in the parent group, and we check it as fit height to content, it will consider everything within that parent group. So this is how the hierarchy works. For the better understanding, I would really guys recommend you guys to read resources, the manual. It is really important, you guys, for understanding. And let me tell you guys where you can learn about more of the groups if you guys want. For the core reference, I think it's in the elements. Yeah, responsive properties. You can see the responsive properties here. Container layouts, types, these the types that I told you guys about. It's about it explains you fixed, it explains you align to parent, it explains you rows and left line. Each and every property, it is explained here and well explained here. So it will, I would really recommend you guys to go through the documentation as well as your hands practice on it. So that's it for the today, guys, and I hope you guys like the video. See you in the next one.